Eric Dezenhall. He is the CEO of crisis management firm Dezenhall Resources. They handle a wide variety of reputation issues for their Fortune 500 client list, including automotive cases. He is also the author of Damage Control: How to Get the Upper Hand When Your Business is Under Attack. Eric, welcome to Bloomberg News. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Eric, how well is Toyota handling what has now become a full-blown crisis?
You know, it's way too early to tell. I mean, judging how a company is doing in a situation like this is like judging a patient in the middle of open heart surgery. There's a lot of blood, they're pale, and it doesn't look good. But the fact is very good companies have a long history of pulling out of these type of things. And there's two really big challenges. One is operational and one is confidence. The first is operational. Fix the problem. The faster the problem is identified and that there is a fix, and the faster that consumers feel there is a fix, the quicker this goes away. You can't be doing PR in the absence of a solution.
And I would imagine, as you talk about the other part, confidence, that goes straight to the heart of leadership, does it not?
It does, but I think that, you know, when something like this happens, there is always this hysterical rush to blame. There is something in human nature that seems to want to feel that something happened because somebody botched it, which is not necessarily the case. And I think that that's a very dangerous way to go. And I think that one of the things that you should look for is there is a cultural difference between how different companies in different countries handle things like this. Americans are very emotion-driven. We like bedside manner, whereas what you see and what I found with German and Japanese automotive manufacturers, there tends to be a very quick focus on the technology, which of course is important. But in America, we need to have our hands held, and foreign companies are not so good at that.
Eric, Greg Miles here. So the Japanese, the Germans don't have this bedside manner. What can they do to deal with this? Do they put their top American-speaking Toyota representative out there to talk to people soon? How do they deal with that?
Well, the first thing that has to happen is to get a handle on what the mechanics here are. I mean, I think that this is one of the biggest recalls I think I can remember. It might be the biggest in history, and it is a very big gamble to do a recall. Remember, companies in these situations can always opt not to recall and to manage a downside in another way. So this is a very big risk. I think it's a smart risk that will probably pay off in the long run. But in the American marketplace, one of the things we're going to have to see is someone who speaks our language explaining exactly what is happening, exactly what the solution is, because that's just a part of the American character that we need to see somebody listening to us in our language.
We also have some headlines crossing. We should mention on Toyota that new pedals are not being sent to dealerships. That's according to the Associated Press. You see it on the bottom of your screen, just getting those headlines crossing. Again, new pedals, presumably replacement pedals is what we're talking about, are not being sent to dealerships. Eric, I want to bring you back in here because a lot of Toyota's competitors have tried to step into the gap here, offering deals to Toyota customers. Do you think Toyota needs to do something pricing-wise, perhaps deal-wise, to try and counter that also?
Well, think of this as an emergency room. You have to do triage, and number one in triage is fixing the problem. Number two is beginning to deal with the pricing and the customer confidence issues. It's hard to deal with them all at once, and one of the things I think people have trouble understanding is, what if you don't really know, and what if you're not absolutely sure you know what the solution to the mechanical problem is? So that has to come first. But sure, other companies are going to take advantage of it, and something regarding pricing and bedside manner, those are all downstream things after the operational question.
Eric Dezenhall of Dezenhall Resources, author of Damage Control, thanks so much for joining us.